Alright everyone, it's time to continue with the guide videos. Today we have one of the most popular characters and one of the most used characters. He has some parts in the Archon quest that are amazing, and he is one of the best boosters in the game. You heard it right, and yes, we are covering guide for Kazuha today. We have only one build to go for. It's going to be a support one. Yes, I know that at C6 you can potentially build a DPS Kazuha, but when you take into the consideration how much damage is he going to provide in comparison to other DPSs, it is not really worth it. And as a booster he is much more preferable in so many teams, just because he is going to make other DPSs deal so much more damage. So definitely, even if you have him at C6, still I do suggest to go and build him as a support, not as a DPS. First things first, as always, we will talk about weapons. And when it comes to weapons, yes, it is going to be the Freedom Sworn, his signature weapon, that is going to be the best one. He does have some nice boost in all of this text, but the main point of all of that is going to be Elemental Mastery, and his weapon is having the highest EM out of all weapons that we have in the game. Now, we do have a few other weapons that actually do have high Elemental Mastery, and it is even one of those that is craftable weapon. If not that one, well, from the event you could have potentially got this weapon, and of course not that good option, but still boosting a little bit of EM. We do have the Ellie Flash. Those are the options that you can go for, although the Ellie Flash, I do not suggest that one. The Umbrella, it is okay, but it is nothing special. The Iron Sting, well, it is going to be okay just because of the EM, just like the Umbrella, but in the end, out of the 4 stars, this Sacrificial Sword is probably going to be the best one, but none of those are coming even close to his signature weapon. I did get, let's say, around 5 to 10% of damage increase when I was switching from Umbrella to his signature weapon. So just because of a little bit more EM and because of the boosts that they put in all of this text, as I said, well, we did get a little bit more damage on my characters. Now we have artifacts. The only set for the Animo boosters, well, it is going to be very decent. It's going to be the best set, definitely. And the things that you want to go for, you want to have as high Elemental Mastery as possible on Flower and Feather. But when it comes to the Sand, Goblet and Circlet, the main stat is going to be EM, of course, but try to get as much energy recharge as possible. Just because of his signature weapon, it is a little bit of problem, and I will need to farm again for his artifacts because I do not have enough energy recharge, and it is becoming frustrating. So definitely go and try to get with the energy recharge. The main stat is going to be EM, and all of the other stats, well, they are not that much important. I would even suggest going for the HP and defense just to keep him alive if you do get in some situation when he's getting hit by a boss. So that could be the only thing that I would suggest other than EM and ER. And we have talents. So when it comes to talents, if you want to try out DPS Kazuha when you get to C6, yes, you can upgrade his normal attack, but honestly it is really not important. When it comes to his skill, just because he is providing a little bit of damage, it's also not important to upgrade it, okay? And when it comes to his burst, Well, I did find out that this additional elemental damage means his personal damage, which in the end, well, it is not benefiting you at all. So you can go all three at level 1. Okay? All three of them at level 1. Next, this thing. Dealing a little bit more damage with his skill when he absorbs any of these 4 elements. Well, 200% of his attack that he currently has. It's considered as plunging damage. Okay, well, really not important. It is okay when it comes to the C6 and the potential of trying out the DPS option, but when it comes to booster, well, it is not going to help you out. The second passive talent is actually going to help you out, because 0.04% elemental damage bonus is going to be counted from his elemental mastery after you swirl one of the 4 elements that were mentioned in the first passive talent: Hydro, Pyro, Cryo or Electro. So at 1000 EM you can get 40% elemental damage bonus for your DPSs. And that's not all. The thing is that you are not limited with the EM that you can boost with your Kazuha. As you can see, it only says 0.04% and it says 48 seconds. It doesn't say how much we have as a limit. And for the last we have Constellations. The first constellation is going to decrease the cooldown on his skill, and when you use his burst, the skill is going to be reset. That's going to be a great option for his energy problem, but it is going to take so much time on the field, even when you take into the consideration the Raiden's team, which now Shilonen is better as a booster than Kazuha. But if you're using Kazuha in that team, it's just going to take so much time, and I don't think that C1 is going to be okay as a constellation. He stays too long in the air, and the bursts already take so much time when you're casting them, so it is fine, but you will lose on time. So yeah, just take that note. The second constellation is something that is incredible. Kazuha is getting 200 elemental mastery after he uses his burst, which is also going to be counted into boosting others, because hey, we don't have a limit on EM. And the other thing is that all the characters inside his burst are going to get 200 EM. So now he is giving elemental mastery and elemental damage. Incredible. The C2 is just incredible. Next we have C4, and it's going to be really strange constellation, okay? If he is under 45 energy, he is going to regenerate a little bit more energy when you're using his skill, 3 or 4 energy extra on all the particles that you're already getting. But something else that is really interesting: while he is gliding, he will recover 2 energy per second, and when you get to the 45 or 46, well, you will not recover any more energy from gliding or getting extra energy from his skill. But hey, it's fine, because his burst is not actually that expensive, and this is going to help, okay? This is going to help, but C2 is just so much better than C4, so I don't understand what they wanted to do with the C4. Maybe they ended up understanding that C1 is not going to be enough to, you know, solve the all energy problem, and they tried to do it even with the C4. But okay, fine. C4 is just not that good, C2 is amazing, C1 is fine but nothing special, and now C6. After using his skill or burst, Kazuha is going to get the Animo infusion for 5 seconds, and for each point of his elemental mastery he is going to get increased damage by his normal charge and plunge attack by 0.2%. Well, I don't have a way to, you know, test it, but still, as a booster in the game, the main focus on this character to be a booster, to be support, this is going to be really strange and really hard to pull out the DPS out of the support character, and I do really believe that he's not going to be even close to other DPSs. Maybe he's going to be, let's say, like some of the 4 stars, because in the end he is made to be a support. And one last thing, his teams. Well, he is going to be a great support for everyone who needs elemental damage support, but only for the elements that are Electro, Cryo, Pyro and Hydro. Unfortunately, he cannot boost any other elements like Geo and Dendro and even Animo. I would really like to have him boost at least someone else, you know. I thought that Animo is going to have some kind of reaction with Dendro when they were trying to pull it out, and in the end, yeah, we didn't get any of the reactions with Dendro and Animo and Geo, so we are missing out some little pieces, unfortunately, but hey, it is what it is. All the Electro, Cryo, Pyro and Hydro DPSs who need their elements, so not the physical ones, well, they are all going to enjoy the boost from Kazuha, and the highest boost that could probably be out of the Kazuha is around 50% of elemental damage, I think. But if someone has or has seen Kazuha who is boosting even more than 50% of the elemental damage, well, let me know. And of course, I would like to hear from you. What is your best team where you are using Kazuha, and how much EM do you have on him, and how much valuable is he in your teams? Well, that's going to be everything on Kazuha. We do have build on him, but he is a support, so I don't know. I did show a little bit from him when it comes to the passive talents earlier in the video, so that's going to be everything on my Kazuha and how much he is boosting at 1001 EM, which I didn't go on purpose and get that much to pull out the exact number, but it is what it is. It ended up at 1001. And now for some time I'm stuck at that, but I'm trying to get a little bit more if possible. So yeah, until the next time.